Hello, Aries. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Aries is your sun, your moon, or your rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, doesn't cost anything. If there's something you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Aries, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And the sun, we have full enlightenment, we have clarity, we have success, we have health and wealth, right? We have fitness, we have financial abundance. The sun is the alchemical gold. We have spiritual experience. This is, I think, is what we're aspiring to. Now, we have to put this into some context, right? We know that the sun is there. We know that our true self is here, is us, is within us, is all around us. Spirit is here with us. Sometimes we get a little bit of weather, right? So we start out with this card, and we know that's what we are. We know that's what we have and what we want, and that's the experience of life. This is light and life and love, right? This is it with a capital I-T. Well, let's put that into a little bit of context, shall we? Oh, we've got a Four of Wands. Very nice. I feel like you have some definite aspirations, and I feel like we're going to be closing some cycles here. We're going to be implementing some changes. We're going to be finishing some stuff, right? We're going to be reaching some milestones. But we've got that Eight of Swords. But a Wheel of Fortune. Very nice. But we have a Hanged Man. And the Builder, the Prince of Pentacles. So it's very, horizontally is very good, right? It's the divine timing. It's the cycles of things. It's this expansive. It's kind of every time we go around the wheel, things are a little bit bigger, a little bit better, right? And we know that it is our path, and we have this illuminated path, and we're confident, we are successful, we are getting things done, we are building the future. See, this is completion, right? The Four of Wands, but it's coming before the Builder. And that tells us that, yes, we are completing our tasks, we're reaching these milestones, we're achieving our goals, but they are the incremental goals that lead to something bigger and better. It leads to the future, right? This card leads to the future. But we've got this Eight of Swords underneath, okay? I think that there is perhaps there's a communication issue, right? Or a thought issue, communicating with ourself, so to speak, right? With that sun energy. It could be that there's a disconnect between the higher self and the lower self, or the true self, and then our soul or personality and all those kinds of energies in us. And that might be part of this Mercury retrograde energy that we are in. Let's continue. We've got a Princess of Cups. We've got the Six of Wands, a Three of Cups, and an Ace of Pentacles. Yes. This is the kind of success that we want, right? We've got fire. We've got earth. We've got the joy and the celebration of what we're doing, but there is some sort of, I don't know, it could be overthinking, overanalyzing. It could be a communication breakdown. I think we're really we've got to solve this. I don't know if this is uncertainty or if this is literally that there is a breakdown of that communication. And now when we think of that in the context of the Mercury retrograde, what we need is perhaps a different form of communication. Right? We're looking for this breakthrough. We're looking for how to get through to ourselves, how to get through to spirit, how to get through our own thoughts and our interpersonal relationships, wherever this kind of confusion is, this tangle right now is taking place. it's not that communication doesn't work right now, right? Everyone, I think it's kind of common that during the retrograde, suddenly communication systems and electronic systems and all these kinds of energetic systems just stop working. They just break down, right? That's not really the case. It's just kind of going backwards, right? It's going in a different direction. It's suddenly different. It's suddenly changed course. So it's not that communication is impossible or doesn't work, but we need to look at things through a different lens. So I feel with the Eight of Swords that you're experiencing this kind of blockage, right? A communication blockage, a thought blockage. And in the context of the retrograde, we need a different lens. We need to look at this situation through a different perspective. And that, I think, the solution is with this Hanged Man. Just a different perspective on things, right? We have to look at this through a different lens. It's kind of like Mercury kind of stopped in its tracks, realized it, I don't know, forgot a contact lens or lost something, turned around and went back to look for it, right? And is looking for it and will find it. And then Mercury will go direct at some point in a few days. So it does find what it's looking for, but not using the same glasses or the same contact lens that it lost, right? The vision is different. The way things look is different. We have to be willing to adapt to this energy. And I think I've seen a lot of people that just kind of, things go wrong, Mercury retrograde, kind of giving up, kind of this Hanged Man energy where I just don't even want to try. Yeah, that all of my efforts it's useless to even do anything. So might as well just not do it. Anything goes wrong, blame it on Mercury. Poor Mercury, right? Mercury is asking us to go and look at something again, but in a different way. Okay? The reason why we keep spinning our wheels in this Eight of Swords, it's really a circular kind of analysis that we're in. In the context of our successful building of this future, of this life, whatever we're doing here with this, we were, I think, very much connected with our true self, and maybe this is more of a spiritual thing than an earthy kind of practical business, endeavor or project or something. But we feel like the communication is just not what it was before. During a retrograde, that seems obvious. This is the moment where we have to be Mercury. We have to go back and look at things, look at our situation, look at the path that we were on, retrace our steps, right? But using a different lens. We have to look at things differently, and that's the Hanged Man. And also in terms of your communication, in order to have what I would call a very harmonious relationship, this is the card of victory, and it's in the position of your environment, right? This is, I think really, when we take these two cards together, what is missing here is everybody else. This is victory. It's in the environment. What the cards are saying now is, did you leave anybody behind? Mercury is going back to probably reach a hand out to everybody else to help them across this finish line too. So you are accomplishing your goals, but there's something that there's something you left behind. There's something you didn't see. Either there's a lesson we didn't learn, or it's kind of like you left something on at home and we've got to go back and we forgot something at home. Mercury's turning around, has to go back and get it, and then we'll continue on, But there's also this miscommunication, and it's because the language that we're using is not being received in the right way because of the atmosphere right now. The words that we're using are not translating the proper way. People, the other person, whether yourself or coworkers, family members, whatever, are not receiving your message. We're not receiving your communication accurately. That's nobody's fault. It's blame it on Mercury, right? So we have to go over things again. We have to look at things with a fresh set of eyes, and we have to use a different form of communication. Okay? we've got to communicate through a different way. And I wonder if that's the water energy that we've got here. Communicating with love, with acts of kindness, with gestures. It's not a time for debates. It's not a time for trying to reason or plan things out or have an intellectual exchange or conversation. We have to use different communication techniques, right? In order to get everybody kind of on the same page again and get the ball rolling again. Let's select the mystery card before I forget. This is the bonus card. This is the confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot, and this is that factor, infinite and unknown. We're going to put it down right here. We're going to put Tiny Bob Ross right there on top. Happy little Bob. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need. All right. So looking around one more time here, we've got major, major, major. And then it kind of seems like we run into this air energy, and it starts to, if we take the Eight of Swords and the Prince of Pentacles together, okay? The Prince of Pentacles is the builder, has to receive the orders, has to receive the blueprints from you, from spirit, from the, the whatever, the architect or something, in order to know what to build. So it could be that we're not seeing any progress right now because there's some sort of miscommunication with those plans. Those blueprints don't seem to make sense right now. Blame it on Mercury. This is like, the blueprints, your drawings, you spilled coffee on them or something, right? And so the builder cannot read them, does not know what to make of, doesn't even know which way is up, which way to hold the paper, to read the instructions, to read the plans, right? It's like you wrote everything out, but then when you gave it to that builder, to the Prince of Pentacles, it's in a completely foreign language now that they don't read, right? Something happened in that translation. And, really I think all of these energies are within us. And so I think that there's a difficulty with us right now in trying to express ourselves in a precise way. And there's an inability for others to kind of, to figure out what we mean. Sometimes, and I think there's probably a lot of technological issues. There's a lot of, it's kind of like the email won't work, right? It's the blame it on Mercury. The email's not working. The computers aren't working. What do we do? We're in this. I've got all these emails I have to send out. I have all of this important information, all of these instructions to send to whomever. What do I do? Well, you might just have to write them down on a piece of paper and mail them. We might have to use a different form of communication than the email, right? If the computers aren't working, don't panic. There are other ways to get the information out, Anyway, we've got the fire, we've got water and water. The air here is the troublemaker. And of course, we have our earth energy. And I think that it's really this part of you that is ready to do the work, but is just having an issue figuring out what the plans are or what the next move is, right? And I think that there is something that we need to look at through a different lens. We have to change our perspective on something. If you're upside down, the world looks different than when you're right side up, We've got to look at it a different way, and we have to put it into different words, It's like we keep trying to explain something using the same words, the same phrases. Yeah. We have to try to express it in a different way, in a new way, that maybe will give you that kind of aha moment. If we think about things in different terms, use a different analogy with ourselves, then it might just click and we might, that's what it is. That's what I've been missing. That's the way now I can connect with my true self or with spirit or with my creative energy or with my coworkers or friends or family or whatever. And things will come together again and the machine will start working again. The progress will start happening because this horizontal path is really, really good. Right? I think that the Eight of Swords is slowing down the kind of the ongoing construction of your life right now. And once we solve this, then we're right back to this kind of, well, the victory, right? The success. And I really feel with the Six of Wands, especially since it's in the environment, that you have to find a way to let other people know that you're bringing them with you, right? Spirit's kind of showing me you reaching back, grabbing someone's hand, and pulling them forward too. Because it seems like there's a miscommunication. It seems like some wires got crossed. Blame it on Mercury. And maybe somebody doesn't know what the plan was, you know? Somebody was operating with a different understanding than you. Like they were working from a different set of blueprints here. And so things got a little messed up, a little bit confused there. All right. So we need to go back and check on things. But what I see happening with this Ace of Pentacles is at the end is a really, really big breakthrough coming. And I think that this is the moment where we figure out exactly what to do moving forward. And this is a big lesson. I love the Mercury retrogrades. Yes, things get kind of chaotic, things go haywire, but it forces us to adapt, right? It forces us to find different ways to make the same connections. All right. So this is the opportunity for you to really have this major, major breakthrough. Not only are we breaking through this particular instance of blockage or miscommunication or crossed wires, but I think we're really unleashing the power of this Wheel of Fortune. I think you're finding the enlightenment. See, the Wheel of Fortune and the Sun card together are just infinitely successful. This is us understanding the cycles and the seasons and the flow of energy. And even when there is, any kind of celestial event, whether it's an eclipse or a retrograde or some sort of conjunction or even an opposition, you're discovering the key of how to maximize that energy. Use it to your advantage rather than seeing it as a detriment. Oh, we're in retrograde. I can't get anything done this week, right? But you're learning a different perspective. You're seeing this not as a challenge, as an opportunity to push yourself to innovate, just even within yourself, right? To find new and creative. It's always through the big challenges of life that we figure out new ways to do things. And those ways, are leading to even greater heights, greater achievements, So I think this is the big breakthrough, but we have to look at this situation through a different lens. And we have to adapt and innovate and find a new way to make the connections because the old way right now is not working. Okay? And then we can get the machine going again, and we can start getting these incremental successes. And it's kind of like you're inventing or you're innovating some new piece of technology, some new mechanical part that will go into this machine and will triple the production, right? Triple the value or cut the costs or whatever you're doing. I don't know. So it's kind of you're improving the system. You're getting that aha moment, that breakthrough enlightenment, the light bulb over your head that allows you to improve this system so that you can be more productive, more efficient, more connected, more whatever. I don't know if this is a business thing, if it's a creative project, if we're talking about relationships, or your spirituality altogether. But this is an opportunity for a real breakthrough. And over here we've got the Princess of Cups. The Princess of Cups trying to express themselves through signs and symbols rather than through words, rather than through technology, rather than through the mind or the intellect, right? That kind of Mercury energy. Communicating with heart, communicating via symbols, gestures, communicating through an aura, a vibe, right? And that's the Princess of Cups, is really, really working to do that. And in the Rider-Waite-Smith, the Page of Cups is the fish in the percolator, right? It's the goblet, and then there's a fish inside the goblet. Well, that's an interesting way to communicate, wouldn't you say? And so Spirit is really asking you to notice that. It's not just you finding ways to communicate outward or communicate with your true self, but Spirit, your true self, is communicating with you through these different means. Mercury has turned back around to go look at something that it may have missed. So that perceptive part of you maybe missed some breadcrumb along the way, maybe missed some clue, some sign or symbol or synchronicity. So a little bit of kind of retrospection here is important. Look back and see what you may have missed in the last few days. There's some clue somewhere, right? And then from this point on, continue to look for those clues, and be open to Spirit communicating with you with, let's say, a fish in a percolator, some aquatic life in your goblet, in your glass of water, right? These things would usually frustrate us, and we can kind of expand on that during the Mercury retrograde. Things go haywire. Things get misinterpreted. The signal does not come through clearly, and you don't know what you're even looking at. We could get frustrated and say it's nonsense, it's just chaos, I'm not going to... Maybe all of this chaos and all these crossed wires, all this haywire, is meaningful in itself. You're not getting the message clearly, it seems like. Well, what is the message that you are getting? Right? Spirit does not always communicate with us on kind of an equal one-to-one ratio thing. It's not always literal, right? So we're expecting literal, let's say, language-based communication. What we're getting is random symbols and just gibberish and squeaks and beeps and twists and, but that's the message, and we have to figure out how to interpret that. Rather than just saying, well, it's chaos, it's just nothing. It's nonsense, right? Nothing is nonsense. Nonsense just means that we can't make sense of it. We need a new lens, right? You're looking at something with the old lenses, and those lenses don't work right now. And so it seems like we're just getting tangled up in this nonsense, and we're not able to figure out a way to move forward. Okay? But this gives us the key, and the Hanged Man gives us the key. The Six of Wands, I think, is a very, very positive card. It does show us a lot about ourselves. It's kind of the confidence that results from us adapting and overcoming our circumstances. From becoming a better, more evolved version of ourselves, by learning about ourselves, by struggling with this kind of an issue, we grow, right? We're able to have the confidence to meet with the next challenge. Okay, Mercury is going to go direct again. Things are going to get back to normal. Whew, good, right? You will have gained so much from this experience that the next time there's any kind of crossed wires, any kind of obstacle at all, any kind of obstacle, you are more prepared to handle it. This, I think, really is a big breakthrough for you just on a personal level. Not even considering what this situation is in detail, but just for you, having this breakthrough of perception, of communication, of the way that you think and the way that you look at the world, the way you interpret the world, is something that it's going to be with you for the rest of your life. It's going to apply to every other scenario in your future, right? And so it's teaching you kind of a new method. It's like aliens have landed and they've taught you a secret new technology. And it's not just a technology that's going to apply to this particular job. It's a technology that's going to really completely reform, completely overhaul every other industry in your life, right? Every other aspect of your existence. It's going to benefit from this new technology, right? And that's kind of what I see with the Ace of Pentacles here. This is a new approach to a new approach to life, a new approach to every event, every situation, every step along the way. You're going to have this kind of new energy with you. The Three of Cups, I think, is a very promising card, because this is kind of the result of this breakthrough and this harmony, and I think with Mercury going direct again in a few days, that this is a lot of relief in your life personally. Now, I don't know if you have maybe, I don't know where Mercury is in your astrological chart, right? I almost wonder how many of you have Mercury in Gemini, actually. But anyway, it's really the harmony. We get back to a state of harmony with ourselves, with the people in our lives, with whatever this situation is. But this is it's kind of on a higher rung now. You know, it's we've transcended a little bit here. This is one of those, it feels like a portal to me, right? It feels like Mercury is kind of going back and doing like a loop and just creating this little wormhole where some of us have the opportunity to step through to a new way of perceiving. Mercury is all about the mind, right? And to me, this is it's kind of an innovation again on the emotional plane. Yeah. Because we're learning almost a new language, a new way of communicating, that this gives us such a deeper connection with people, because we're realizing that the words that we use sometimes aren't going to make sense, you know. And I kind of feel that even now in this reading. The verbal language that we use, or the written language, right, even, is so limited in a way, right? That a deeper experience can be had with ourselves, with the universe, with other people. A much deeper and richer experience of love, of connection, of abundance. Yeah. Communicating on that heart level, or that even that intuitive level, it's just, I feel like it's activating something in you that is intimate. You know what I mean? Intimate. I want to look at the mystery card. I wonder if that's going to be the Magician, right? Mercury itself here. Let's see what Bob Ross has for us. I do think this is the opportunity for you to really have a serious breakthrough in your life that's going to affect, I think, everything that comes next. All right. And in that aspect, maybe we need a Tower card. Maybe we need another Wheel of Fortune. Maybe this is going to be Mercury itself. If you have a prediction, I want you to put it down in the comments. Ace of Swords. Clarity, right? This is cool, because this is it's kind of the opposite of what we'd expect in a Mercury. Well, in a Mercury retrograde, this is what we expect. Nonsense, haywire, stuff's not working. The more I try to talk, the more I try to communicate, the more tangled up I get, right? But this is something else. This is clear. This is perception, not on a mental or intellectual plane. This is direct spiritual perception, right? So we're able to look at something, and it's almost like we don't have to use the mind, or if we empty the mind, right? If the radio is all static, just turn off the radio, right? Just turn off the radio and listen listen to something else. I hear birds actually chirping outside the studio. But if it's all static, if the communication doesn't work, why are we going to keep trying the same thing? We're sending out the same signal, but it's scrambled. It doesn't make sense to keep sending out the same signal. Got to try something else. You know, if the internet goes down, if the satellite TV goes down or whatever, you still got that old antenna on the roof, right? I've got one. I don't know what it does anymore, but we've got one. And so this is, you know, when communication goes down, well, you just get out the old ham radio. Okay, it doesn't make sense to keep trying the same thing. It's like the phone line's dead, but you keep trying to dial the number. You keep picking it up, hello, and it's not working. So let's just leave it. Let's find something that does work. And I think what is working is something higher, something deeper, something different, a different lens to see this situation, to see your future, to see the rest of your life. This is that clarity. This is a good confirmation. I like this. I like this. It's kind of like there's retrograde stuff. It's not going to bother us, you know? If I try to watch TV and it's all fuzzy, well, that's fine. I'll do something else. You know, if I'm trying to send a text message and the autocorrect isn't working and I'll just do something else. I'll find a different way to get my soul expressed, you know. We rely so much on the mind, we forget about the heart and the intuition and the body, right? Body language, right? Mercury can't mess with that. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Aries every Monday and Friday. But I'm here every day, 6 a.m. Chicago time. Come back and see me tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. Does not cost you anything. Leave a comment for me. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. Let me know how the retrograde is affecting you. I want you to know, Aries, that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.